folks get together so they can try things. How about it? It's podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
Hello and welcome to Now Try This, the podcast where two best friends get together every week to try something new. This week we're doing Over the Garden Wall. I'm Marcus. That's Nick. Nick, how are you doing?
Marcus, I'm pissed
Why?
because I looked everywhere for a cheap over the garden wall costume and I could not find one. They're either too expensive or it took too long to get here because you only give me a week to know these challenges. Oh, thank you so much for Limpigany891 for following. Thank you so much. Listen, Marcus, I need you to step it up.
Wait,
I
why?
need you to surprise me. This would have been a perfect moment for you to dress up as an over the garden wall
Oh,
character coming for Spooky Boys Month, and you didn't do it.
I looked into it and the cape was $90. So
That's right. No, I looked into it too. And then I thought about how hard would it be to go to Michael's and get a blue and red fabric and sew them together and find some fasteners.
Yep.
And then I said,
I was like,
not
no,
for one bit.
Not for the bit. It's not worth it.
Not enough for one bit. Marcus, I am so good. Guys, welcome to Now Try This, your podcast where your boys challenge each other. And this week, Marcus challenged me because, guys, October, it is here. It is Oof, You're Scared month. That is October. We only do horror, scary, thrillery, spooky related things. What's up, Mark?
That's not the name of it. Why
Oh,
you
I'm
gotta
sorry,
do
you're right.
this? Marketing, Nick. You gotta marketing 101. We gotta give a thing a name. Stick by the branding.
Okay. I will give the actual name, which
Thank you.
is Chilling Tales from Marcus and Nick month. Boom, baby.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Woo. Guys, that means every week this month we are doing spooky, scary, thrillery things, and that is coming to you powered by Patreon. Patreon.com/nowtrythiscast. Marcus, tell them about it.
On patreon.com, you can join at the $5 tier or the $1 tier. At $5, you can submit challenges every month for us to do. And then we get together and all the patrons vote on what challenges they want to see us do during the month. And everyone can vote $5 tier, $1 tier, and it's fun. It's fun every week. I'm excited.
And we are I'm feeling confident enough, Marcus, to say what is winning for next month, and that is the you guys
you
can
know what?
change it.
You guys
There
can
are
go
4
on.
hours left.
There's 4 hours left. If you want to go on right now over to our Patreon and change what's currently winning, you can technically do that and make us watch something we don't want to watch. But right now, Malignant is winning, and I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, I have no idea what that movie's about. I only know it's scary. It was suggested us by Joseph. So hopefully that's what we're seeing and that's what we're doing. Guys, you can change that last minute. Go ahead and let them know. Let them know in the polls. But that is what we're doing this whole month. Scary, spooky things. I am at a gross disadvantage because I have no idea what I'm going to give Marcus because he's the horror boy. He's the spooky boy.
I am
And
the spooky boy.
don't know what he's going to give me.
Well,
And I'm always scared about it because he has given me things like Leprechaun.
The good thing about this month is that there's so much in the realm of spooky. It's so vaguely, interpretable, and you can give me a lot. And there are a lot of things I haven't seen, even though there are a lot that I have seen. So I'm excited.
That's true.
And you surprise
guys,
me every month.
Don't worry about feeling bad about not being able to give to the Patreon. That's totally fine. You guys can still support us by following us everywhere at Now Try This Cast or leaving us 5-star review on iTunes, just like Nikki345 did and said, love the variety. I love how the guys have a wide range of content. This podcast is truly for everyone. And that's what makes this such a fun podcast. Nicholas and Marcus are such a fun pair to listen to. I look forward to all the future content that comes from the Now Try This podcast.
How much did you pay them for that review?
I didn't pay them at all.
How much did you pay them for? That was too
We just
nice
have
of a thing
fans,
for a
Marcus.
stranger to say.
Oh my God, Marcus, how does it feel sometimes that like you there are fans? There are people, Marcus, there are people who love you so much that even though they hate me, still listen to this show. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. There are people who
Well,
come
before
up
we
to
get
me.
into Over the Garden Wall, Marcus, hey, we have not watched Squid Game, Ghost Lag. I've heard it's really good. Do you know what this new show is, Squid Game?
Yeah, so you know how in the video game world right now, time loop games are kind of a trend, and they're like making several time loop games. In the Asian TV show manga demo market, that's a popular genre of thing. Right now, it's like aliens coming to play games with you and where you die, but the games are kind of like puzzly or like based on
So, like
children's
Gantz?
games. Gantz inspired, yeah. Gantz inspired, but they make you play
Wow.
a game instead of killing them or fighting them.
Whatever. Okay.
But
Go
it's not always
check out
aliens.
Squid Game. And
It's
if you
like-
really, really want to make sure we check out Squid Game, go ahead, suggest it on
Patreon.
and then we'll 100% do it.
But yeah,
Now,
like
Marcus,
Alice
before we
in
get to-
Borderland and Squid Game, I think, are two big ones right now.
Ooh. Marcus, before we get into Over the Garden Wall, have you tried anything new this week?
Have I tried anything new? Oh my god!
Oh, you thought I was
Yes,
gonna skip
I did try something new, Nick. I
it? Please
remembered.
tell me.
I was in
Please
Florida.
tell me.
I went sailing, which I've never
Marcus,
done before.
I feel like you're going to give everybody a false conception of your life because you're traveling all the time. You're going to all these places. You're doing all these things. And I know that's just not true.
Traveling is my personality. Okay, I travel and I watch The Office, and I have pictures of me holding fish. It's just who I am. I'm not
That's
basic.
ridiculous. Yeah. You went sailing?
So I went sailing. I didn't do any active sailing. I was sitting on a sailboat
sure.
while
You
someone
can
else
say you went
sailed.
sailing.
And I went paddle boarding, and I failed miserably at it. I was very, very bad at it because it
Explain
involved
to me
balance.
what boarding is.
It's when you stand on a surfboard or a paddle board and you just like use a little paddle and you like row yourself while standing and you move in the water.
Huh.
It was fun, but I was really
Why is that
bad.
hard? You're just standing and pushing.
Balance. My balance is terrible because of my ankle.
Well, you're so tall.
And I'm tall, so I just have a lot of things going against me, and so I fell face first into the water, and it was great.
Aw.
It was a good time. I also don't
You
know how to
can't
swim.
that well, right?
Exactly. I can't swim at all. So
How'd you not die?
It was like shallow water. I fell into
okay.
the
So
water
once you were
and then I
in,
hit like
stand.
the ground, so it was fine.
Oh, that sounds painful.
No, it wasn't painful. It was like gross, like mushy kelp
Oh.
ground. It was fine.
Okay, well, the water was 2 feet deep. That is less than Marcus is tall.
100%.
All right. Marcus, I have a question for you. Do you know already what you're giving me for horrifying haunts month?
No, I'm waiting for the mood to strike. I'm waiting for something to jump out at me. See what's a good cross section of something I love, something relevant. I'm
okay.
out there. I'm out there with my feelers.
I'm excited to see what that's going to be.
What about you? Do you have anything?
Absolutely not. I have no idea.
Have you-
I'm dreading.
Have you tried anything
What'd
new?
you say? Yeah, sure. I don't think I told you this yet. Guys, for everyone listening, Marcus and I are real friends that keep our friendship alive by doing this podcast.
100%.
I started these last 2 weekends, I started teaching an improv class.
Oh, wow.
I am all the way on the other side now where
Yeah.
people have paid money to come take a class that is being taught by me
That's awesome.
about improv.
Do you like it?
Yeah, if anyone wants more info on that, get at us. But wild. The first day, it was like 5 or 6 adults, and I led them through stuff. They said they had a great time. The second day, everyone was so late that we combined the kids and the adult classes. So I taught kids. And I don't want to blow my load or anything, but some of the kids that I was teaching improv to are more famous than me and have done more
Wow.
professional work than I have.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's like, oh, wow, good on me for like teaching them something, or like, oh man, they are
Maybe-
already
well, when
way
they're-
above me.
when they're in a Marvel movie eventually, because they get them out, they get them all at some point. They'll be like, "Wow, I had this great improv teacher," and you'd be like, "That was me. That was me."
Honestly, one of them is already working at Disney, so they might someday. That's not a joke. They might be in a Marvel movie. Like
It's true.
that's not, you say that's a joke, but that's like not out of the realm of possibilities.
There you go.
It's wild.
That's your connection too. Like you need a
Yeah.
guy.
Hey, that Chris Evans guy. I think he could benefit from some improv classes.
There are other
What you
people
think?
in
We
the
got,
movie other than Chris Evans. Okay.
No. When I see that Chris
can-
Evans guy,
you
I'm
can
thinking
play other people in the Marvel
Nah, I'm
universe. It doesn't
thinking
have
Chris
to be
Evans needs some
Evans.
improv training.
Or that Chris Evans might need improv. Who knows?
Well, Marcus, and without further ado, I think it's time for us to get into Over the Garden Wall. If we were a professional podcast, that would be the moment like a trailer or something would play, like doo-doo. Over the garden wall.
You listen to that one
Over
podcast too
the
much,
gar-
like Screen Crush, not Screen Crush, whatever that fucking Screen Rant. I don't know what the fuck that is. The one podcast that always plays a trailer before they start talking about the thing.
It's the-
They're
it's
the
the
only
Flat
ones I know who
Felcast.
do it. No one else does.
It's the film cast, but they're the only ones that I know that are like professionals. Guys, we're fighting the film cast. Let them know. Tweet at them.
Okay, so Over the Garden Wall, Nick.
Why did you give it to me, Marcus? Why did you give me Over the Garden Wall? And then you can segue into what the hell it is.
Perfect. I was about to skip that part. Over the Garden Wall is a show that I watched a while ago, back when we were living together, and I loved
Came
it.
out in 2014.
Yeah, it came out in 2014, but I heard about it and I missed it while it was airing on TV. And so years later, I ended up watching it like 2016, 2017, and I loved it. I immediately fell in love with it. It was like so my thing. It just felt like it resonated with me so much, and I couldn't fully grasp why. And so I recommended it to people, and people have watched it. I recommended it to our roommate. Our roommate ended up watching it too. It was just a good time, and I love it. And I'm surprised that you never watched it, because I was like, even while rewatching
Well,
it,
you recommended it to one of your roommates, but not the other one. So what
I
do you,
recommended you
what do
to
you
shut up.
expect? What do you
Even
I don't know.
while watching this, I was like, I watched this so long ago and I loved it. And it's been so important to me ever since that, like, it's weird that I haven't given it to you for this show, you know?
Is it because you assumed I saw it?
No, I thought I had given it to you already on the podcast.
Oh.
And then I realized I didn't.
Similar.
That's true, we have. And I realized I didn't. So I was like, oh, this definitely need you to watch this. And also, it is a huge contributing factor to the reason that I am dating my current girlfriend right now. Because
Explain.
well, on one of our dates early on, I put on Over the Garden Wall, and we started watching it and then got distracted and didn't finish it. But she went home.
Smooth.
This is the show I put on to woo people. So she went home,
believe it.
and she watched the rest of it. And then I don't know, we were talking again, and then she was just like, oh, I watched it all. And I was like, what? And she was like, I loved it.
That
it's
thing
great.
that I put on to make out with you, you went on to
finished
to
it?
watch it?
Yeah. And that meant a lot to me. It meant a lot that on her own accord, went and watched this thing that I liked and meant a lot to me, but I didn't really say it meant a lot to me at the time. You know, it's really nice. And so I watch it every year now. I mean, yeah, I watch it every year now, and it's part of our fall celebration. When it starts to get a little cold, there's that nip in the air.
Do you sometimes not make it all the way through still?
No, I have dedication and respect for the craft now.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
we
will
also
not
got
be
in the chat where
distracted.
-9442 says, calling you out. I asked him to pause it while we were making out because I didn't want to miss anything. Cute.
That is what happened. It's a good time. It's a good time. And so it's also our anniversary in a couple days. And so
Shout out.
perfect time
Pew,
for a
pew.
rewatch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus, what is it? What's the show? What is Over the Garden Wall?
Oh man, it is a complex web that has been woven by Patrick McHale.
Wow, you don't have to say it as if you're part of the show. You can just say it's a 10-episode miniseries from Cartoon Network made by Patrick McHale.
Whatever, that's too simple. Oh, okay. Over the Garden Wall is an American animated television miniseries created by Patrick McHale for Cartoon Network. The series centers on two half-brothers who travel across a mysterious forest to find their way home, encountering a variety of strange and fantastical things on their journey. The show is based on McHale's animated short film, Tome of the Unknown, which was produced as part of Cartoon Network's short development program. Elijah Wood and Colin
Into the
Dean.
unknown.
Elijah Wood and Colin
Into
Dean.
the unknown.
Oh, fuck you. Voice the protagonist.
Into the unknown.
Wirt and Greg, and Melanie
go ahead.
Linsky voices Beatrice, a bluebird. The series voice cast also includes Christopher Lloyd, Tim Curry, John Cleese, Samuel Ramey. Over the Garden Wall was broadcast throughout the week of November 3rd to November 7th, 2014.
So, Over the Garden Wall is something that I have known that you've been a fan of. I have
Mhm.
seen other people be fans of the show. I have seen it in our zeitgeist of friends and people we interact with. I have seen a lot of girls really obsessed with the show that also love bangs and big glasses. But it always seemed like something that like I would get to someday. So I'm glad we finally watched it. But going in, I knew nothing about it except the picture of the main two kids, that Elijah Wood voiced the character. And that's all. That's all I knew. That's literally everything. I didn't know anything else. when you told me it was spooky, I was like, really? Okay. And then I sit down and then I start watching the show, and immediately I'm like, what the fuck is this stupid ass show?
No!
We got
Of
these
course.
stupid 2 fucking kids
Of
getting
course.
lost in the woods, and the show starts off where they're like, oh, we're lost. Okay. And I'm like, lost from where? This is dumb. Why are you lost? But I'm like, whatever. Okay, fine. We're 2 lost kids. We're about to like discover the things that are unknown. But right away, before we even get to that, the tone and pastiche of the show are so wildly different than anything I've experienced in a really long fucking time.
It's so interesting.
It feels simultaneously modern but old.
That's
it feels
exactly
almost like older, like Looney Tunes before Looney Tunes, like Looney Tunes before the Bugs Bunnies and the Daffy Ducks. Like it was
exactly
like that,
what they were going
that
for,
weird,
yeah.
like almost like Cuphead is trying to like invoke those same.
Yeah.
I don't know the terms
Yeah.
of the animation style or like of the eras, but it almost has these like, you know, it also has that feel of like that old Disney movie like
Steamboat
Ichabod
Willie?
the Toad, the 2 Toad.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like that kind of older, like 40s, 50s, 60s, I feel like is the era cartoons. And it also has like jazzy, folky, like weird music, and like you could almost like see the animation moving in a weird way. Like it's like made to look old, but it still looks clean and crisp. So right away, when you're watching the show, if you're not prepared for it, like I was not, I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Even the opening credits is this weird like montage of all these things that are just like anachronous to themselves. Like there's like this person looking at this weird thing, and like these weird pumpkins over here, and like a fish that's fishing, and like all these things that are just so like, what?
But
okay,
that I honestly like it seems random, and you're like, what is happening? And it creates a jarring experience, so that I feel like that endears you to the protagonist a little bit more too, because you are like, I am lost also. What the fuck is going on in this world? Why is there a fish in a boat fishing? What's happening?
That's so strange, because I didn't feel camaraderie. I looked at our main 2 protagonists, be like, you're to blame. You're the reason why I'm lost. This is your fault. They immediately got my blame of why I was confused.
But you're right about the art style too, because that's exactly what they were going for, right? Like that they were going for that old school art style. I think they were inspired. Patrick McHale was inspired by like old Americana art of like, you know, he's inspired by like The Pilgrimage, and he said that he was like the art style he was kind of inspired too by like postcards of New England, because there's that like beautiful fall colors and like a lot of that kind of like woodsy aesthetic.
I totally understand why I think of those old WB shows, those cartoons now, because of the frog, right? The old WB frog. Like
Well,
that's where he comes from. That whole era of
old America. What is it? Old Americana frog artwork. You can immediately see the like inspiration for a lot of Over the Garden Wall.
The show.
Yeah,
totally. Like immediately you see little frogs smoking pipes, playing instruments, and walking around.
100%. Yeah.
Wow, totally. So when you start the show, you're immediately given the whole pastiche of the show, and then you get Wirt and Greg, who are wandering around, being lost, and then immediately a bluebird talks, and you're like, oh, okay, weird. I did appreciate that Wirt was like, birds don't talk. He's like, this is weird. I don't understand what's happening.
I love Wirt, and I think that the 2 characters play off each other very well, because a lot of modern cartoons, and by modern I mean within the last like 2 decades, but
sure,
within the last decade or so, a lot of modern cartoons are just kind of like crazy, zany, loud, chaotic, and like they're like trying to keep kids' attention, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise, and I think with the show you get a good sense of like Wirt kind of embodies that a little bit, but there's so much more to the show than that.
Totally. And so for me, who am going in blind, I don't know. I can't tell any difference between Greg and Wirt and Finn from Adventure Time and Chowder and Flapjack and the era that this came from. I can see it, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Hate the
and
whole
I'm just
era?
like, that whole era of cartoons, like it wasn't for me. Like from like imaginary that
It's
imaginary
era.
friend show, that imaginary friend show on, I don't get it a little bit. There's a little bit of it that's just lost on me. Like there's some things that go past that for me, like
Uh-huh.
Steven Universe, being Puppy Cat, where they're so the randomness just hits me in the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, am I supposed to be? Was that funny? What Greg just did?
Oh my
Is Wirt
god.
being funny?
Oh
I'm not
my
sure.
god.
What's happening here?
Oh my god.
So, like,
Are you,
it's funny.
Old?
He has candy.
Like, what is happening?
has-
You're just like, oh,
listen,
it's just
listen.
not from me. No, these youth and their comedy, it's too fast for me. I remember
It's not
when
about being
Charlie Chaplin fell down the stairs. Oh,
Classic
boy,
moment.
I broke a hip laughing.
Give me the Charlie Chaplin potato dance any day of the week. No, I think I don't know what it is. I think even Steven Universe, right? I mean, you've shown me shows like this before. You've shown me Gravity Falls, and it didn't
Mhm.
work for me. Remember?
Mhm.
Like it was just lost on me. I didn't get it. Steven Universe, I didn't get it for the first couple episodes.
Yeah,
remember? I was like, what is happening? Who are these people? And then it wasn't until I knew who they were, then the jokes landed for me.
Mhm.
But some shows never get there.
That's true.
And
yeah.
I don't know if this show gets there. We're only on the first episode. We'll find out. But
Well, I think Steven
So then-
Universe at the beginning was very hollow. It was a very hollow show. There wasn't all the weight and all the like planning that they had later
Yeah.
on that
Well,
gave the show a
if
lot
you
of
watch
weight.
it back, it's there. You just don't know it's there, kind of thing, right?
It's there a little bit, but
Well,
I
they
feel
have
like
pictures of the mom. They have the bubbles. They have
they just didn't know
there's
what
like
they were
illusion
going to
still, a
do
lot of
with
stuff.
it. Yeah, there was, but
Sure.
I feel like they just
Sure.
didn't know what they were going to do with it yet, and they were like, "Who is our audience, and what are we trying to do?" And then I think as a writer, she really came into her own, like over the
Oh yeah,
few
by that second
episodes.
season, the show is
Yeah.
Steven Universe. Totally.
Mhm.
That and the first season is like 50 episodes long.
Yeah.
So we got Wirt, we got Greg. They're wandering through the woods. They're lost, and then they meet the huntsman. I think is that first episode,
The
right?
woodsman.
The huntsman meeting
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
huntsman.
Huntsman,
The
woodsman, woodsman.
We'll say woodsman.
Yeah, woodsman.
And what happened with the woodsman?
They meet the woodsman. He's out there.
Good children, don't go into the woods. The woods, the light, keep the lantern lit. Oh, to the wood, kids.
Played by Christopher Lloyd, as you can tell by that
Nailed it.
impersonation. Who warns him of the beast and immediately sets up all the
beast is in the woods.
immediately sets up all the spooky parts of the show. I feel like the show is
I was
a good
surprised.
balance of spooky. I like that's why I recommended it, right? It's a good fall show. It takes place around Halloween, you find out later, and it's just like it's got creepy vibes without ever feeling too scary.
Sure. And then the woodsman immediately feels different than our main characters.
Yeah.
It almost feels out of place. Honestly, the first time I saw
Sure.
it, I was like, the way he's talking, the way he's acting, and he's like, oh, I'm just like, who are you? What's happening? Calm down. Like, what is this? But immediately you could tell that I feel like the woodsman does a good job of setting up that there's more.
Mhm.
There's more to the world. He mentions the unknown, the beast, what's happening, and you get a little bit of that. And then what do they do? Run away from him, and then they just meet him again?
Basically,
Is that what
a wolf comes in. It's the wolf episode. So like a wolf comes
Yeah.
in, and they end up fighting with the wolf a little bit. Wirt ends up knocking out the woodsman after they've established that he's friendly and fine because Wirt is
Greg did. Yeah, Greg knocked him out because that
Yeah.
was the plan. Yeah, so
no
oh my god.
Yeah, Greg, no, sorry.
Wirt
Yeah,
told, Wirt told Greg as he
Yes.
was like bringing them in, hey, our plan is going to be to knock him out. And then he says, okay. But then the woodsman like does nice things and Wirt's like, I don't know, it seems nice. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then the wolf comes in and they're like, ah. And then Greg knocks out the woodsman. He's like, I followed the plan.
which was great. It was good comedy. I love it a lot.
Greg's line, you have beautiful eyes to the wolf that's about to eat them.
There are a lot of
Yeah,
good,
I like the
cute
two of them.
lines
Greg
from
and Wirt are good.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg is great. It almost feels like, listen, I don't want to like overindulge myself at all or feel
Mhm.
self-important, but I feel like Greg and Wirt are so like id and ego, you know what I mean? Like there's like all our Wirt's like all our worry and all our anxiety, and Greg is like the inside of our like id, like just trying to like, I have candy in my pants. You have pretty eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like the two of them together is super interesting, but weird because Wirt like shits on Greg a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like their relationship is kind of one that needs to grow. I think they both have growing to do personally. And then also a kind of like a little like, oh, you're an annoying little brother to him.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah,
that there
which
might
he
even
is.
be some maybe jealousy or resentment there too, because he is able to say and do the things that Wirt is too afraid of,
Sure,
you know?
totally. Yeah, and then it's classic hijinks where they get the wolf into the wheels of the mill to destroy the wolf, and you find out
Mhm.
it's a dog with a black turtle inside of his belly,
Yep.
which is never explained, not once.
Nope.
And the whole mill is destroyed, so it kind of seems like maybe the woodsman's fucked now his lantern's going to turn out. And he was like, oh, but we took care of the beast. And the woodsman was like, you fools, that wasn't the beast. And I did like that moment where it's like, yeah, we got the beast. It's like, you fools.
It was
So
very
classic.
good. It was very much like,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of like twisty, turny things that happen that then the show acknowledges immediately. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that was stupid.
Yeah. And then after the end of the first episode, we get a lot of shitty shit.
What?
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 Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be revelatory about a whole bunch of animals going to a school, or am I supposed to be
what are you
revelatory about
expecting?
a whole
It's
bunch
a fun
of a whole bunch of
cartoon.
a bunch of pumpkin
sorry.
heads?
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Oh, Mr. Nicholas. Yes. I didn't know Professor Nicholas was here, and everything needed to be steeped in references and culture.
No, it totally doesn't be. But if it's not, it should be fun and funny and interesting, and it wasn't. Those
But
things.
maybe it is. I think that there's a lot to discuss. You know, there's homages to
let's
Dante's Inferno. If you're into that thing, there's a lot of like deep lore in this show to really dive into. If you want, you can get behind the conspiracy theories of the show and figure out what it all means. Or are they alive at the end, or are they not? Who knows? Like, you could dive into stuff if you want to dive into this show. If you want to get deeper, you could get deeper. There's an iceberg with a bunch of stuff underneath.
We'll go through it just for you, Marcus. The hard times at the Huskin Bee, the Bluebird, they meet the Bluebird and she becomes their guide because Greg helps them.
Mhm.
I did enjoy that Greg wanted a wish, and he kept saying he wanted a wish. And Beatrice kept saying that's not how this works. That was fun. But then they go to this town where there's nobody there except a turkey who lives in one of the houses, and then they go to a barn, and it seems like it's from Midsommar or something, where there's a whole bunch of
they're dancing around the
pumpkin-head
maypole.
cultists.
Yes, inspired by
Yeah, so
old
what's going on in this
school
town,
American
Marcus?
Halloween traditions. They
So what's
just
going
go
on in
to
this
a
town,
town.
Marcus?
There are a bunch of creepy pumpkin people in a barn dancing around a giant creepy pumpkin.
Yeah.
And they all are, I feel like there is a lot of like worry for me when I was watching it, because you see Wirt and Greg step on pumpkins and then go into a town full of pumpkin people, and you're like, oh no, what's gonna
Lexi said that.
happen?
She was like, uh-oh, they stepped on the pumpkins.
And so they meet the pumpkin people, and the pumpkin people are like, oh, they get scared that it's some kind of weird pumpkin cult, or that they are indeed pumpkin people. And they realize that, oh, it's just people dressed up like pumpkins, so it's fine.
Yeah.
At least that's what they think at first. And then they're punished by the pumpkin
King.
monster in the middle of the room.
The giant pumpkin.
Giant pumpkin. And he then sentences them to manual labor, and they have to dig 2 holes.
After the fake out of making it seem like they're going to be killed.
Yeah. And then,
which was dumb. But fine.
why is it
Go ahead.
dumb?
I don't know. You set up stakes, then you take them away, and I'm like, that's stupid.
But
What? You just set up your own stakes at the beginning. I don't know. Was that supposed to be faked out that I thought they were going to be killed in this children's show?
I mean, are there no stakes in other children's shows? Like there are stakes that are faked out constantly because you know it's a children's show. They're not gonna fucking die, but you still are there with the characters. If the characters believe the stakes, then you are there along for the ride with them.
Sure, but to immediately take the wins out of your own sails, like, what, you thought we were going to kill you? No, you got 2 hours of manual labor. And I'm like, oh, well, now the wins out of my sails.
But even during the manual labor, they think that they're digging their own graves.
Yes, and then that happens. They realize they're digging graves because one of them finds a skeleton in there. And then there's a nice moment where it's Beatrice helping them out, trying to help them escape while they're talking with pumpkin people. And then the big reveal of the episode is they're not people putting on pumpkins, they're skeletons picking up pumpkins, and they were actually digging out the party animal skeletons to join the party.
Yep. It was fun. It was funny. Also, I mean, just based on the
Mhm.
title of the episode's name alone, you would have gotten that they were digging up bodies. Anyway.
I thought Huskin was a reference to corn.
I mean, not the episode. The place is called Pottsfield that they're in, and Pottersfield is like a burial ground.
Oh, interesting. I did like the little parable-iness of the end though, where
Mhm.
the giant pumpkin was like, "Well, don't worry, you guys don't want to stay. That's fine. Everyone ends up here eventually." And I was like, "Oh shit, fuck, we are all skeletons eventually." Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. What's the next episode? Show? Okay, show.
Uh-huh.
What's the next one?
Well,
Oh, it's a school.
oh my
with,
God.
with
There's a lot
pigs
of that.
and,
There's a lot of like, there's something in the darkness lurking. There's more than meets the eye. Autobots roll out. There's a lot of that kind of
Mhm.
thing in this because, I mean, we can skip around a little bit, but they might be in purgatory or they could be in hell or it's all a dream. Who knows? It could be a Wizard of Oz situation.
Classic Urakai. What is it? What's the word?
Isekai.
Isekai. Classic isekai.
They just got isekai
Oh,
into
thank
purgatory.
you. Thank you for your God of Death. The school episode was bad. I'm not the only one that thinks this.
Fear God of Death. If you're not already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. But
So we get
Yes.
we get what happens almost in the beginning of every episode. They're walking and they're lost and they're gonna see something else, and they see a school, and immediately you think like bad shit's gonna happen,
Mhm.
and then nothing bad happens at all because Wirt goes in and just joins the class of animals. Now this is the same character that half an episode ago was concerned that the bluebird can talk, is now taking a class with a pig and a raccoon
Uh-huh.
and a sheep.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be honest, when the school teacher started singing, I was like, fuck, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one animal could talk, but the other animals can't talk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So as Miss Langtree, the teacher was like, oh, my Jimmy left me. A is for all the ways he left me all
A is for the
alone.
apple that he gave to me.
That's
Down inside.
he is how he betrayed me and left me
Yeah.
behind.
I have, speaking of musical moments,
Mhm.
the soundtrack's by the Blasting Company, and I have it on
Oh.
vinyl and listen to it pretty often. It's a banger of a soundtrack.
That's cool. And then E-Evaluation says hi to you, Marcus.
Hello, Ethan. How are you doing, buddy?
Shout out. Now, I will say that whilst super endearing when we get to the moment of Greg singing Potatoes and Molasses,
I
was like, oh, this is cute.
Molasses.
I was like, why? What is happening? What, is this the whole show? Is the whole show just another random place and another random thing, and it's sort of spooky, and they just keep walking more into the unknown and nothing
Mhm.
happens? God damn it. That was
There-
my feelings. As
I
I was
could,
watching
I
this episode.
could see why someone wouldn't like this episode. I too think it was the next episode on my first watch that really cemented me liking
How
the
bad
show.
the show is 100%, because the next
Me
episode
liking the
is
show.
Songs of the
This
Dark
was
Lantern,
fun. Okay,
where they
hold
went to
on.
a tavern.
He's there's so many good like jokes in this show, even in this episode. They're like, hey, do you want to play Two Old Cats? It's like, what's Two Old Cats? It's just finding two old
That's
cats.
funny. That's funny. That was funny.
Okay, and then
That was
the
funny.
dad's like, I started this school so you could teach animals how to play music and read. And then he's crying alone in the back because he doesn't have the money. He was taking the instruments back because he actually didn't
Going
have
bankrupt.
the money and was going bankrupt. And then they started a fundraiser where the animals were playing music at the end, and it was great. And it turns out her boyfriend wasn't a jerk and didn't leave her. He was just stuck in a gorilla
Stuck
costume.
inside of a gorilla costume.
Great
I
writing.
purposely skipped all that. So the next
Flawless.
episode, we're in a tavern,
Uh-huh.
and birds aren't allowed in the tavern, and this whole fucking tavern plays 7 different songs to tell me exposition about no one that's ever gonna matter again. I need you to explain this one to me, buddy.
I'm the highwayman. I do what I can. I love it.
Listen.
So you end up in a
Mm.
bar, right? You end up in a tavern, and it's called Songs of the Dark Lantern. And I feel like with this episode, it's just that it just emphasizes that thing that we are all on a journey trying to discover who we are. And these are all people who've decided that they know who they
Hold on.
are already on their
Hold on.
journey. And our protagonist
Fuck
is
you,
lost and doesn't know.
9442. Fuck you. The tavern is full of main characters. They have their own stories going on.
Yeah.
Dash,
Dash
that's
gets
not-
it. Dash 9442
That's not the
gets it.
definition. The definition of a main character means that they're a main character. We know more about everyone in this tavern
Everyone's a
before
main
we know
character.
anything about Wirt and Greg.
They're main characters in their own life, and Wirt isn't. He's still trying to find his place. And so this episode
outta
solidifies that Wirt is the pilgrim going on his hero's journey. And that is what's happening in this show. And it really, I guess not subtly, tells you that. And it's an episode about self-discovery, and all these people have roles and they're trying to fit him into a role. Oh my god, I'm trying to read the chat. I'm gonna ignore it for now. It's a great episode.
Because our chat
It's
is
fun.
fighting right now.
It's fun.
Our chat is fighting right now.
What?
And
I
then-
don't understand. I feel like sometimes this happens with shows, and I don't understand what you want from shows. Because I feel like sometimes I'm like, it was fun, interesting. I understand that maybe it's not the most like narratively compelling show out there, but each episode's 10 minutes. Each episode's 10 minutes long. The whole thing is less than 2 hours.
Mhm. Next episode.
Oh
we
my
got-
god. What? Just skipping over the rest of the episode? You didn't even like the music in this one? Like, there was not a
By
song
the
that you're like,
random
oh, I
townspeople?
loved it. It was fun. Who cares who's singing it? It's good music.
They're like not even. It's not good music.
Yes, it is. What are
Oh.
you talking about?
So the episode ends where you do find out a little bit about Wirt. You find out he has a crush on a girl named Sarah, and you find out that you find that out in the next episode. What else did we fucking find it in this episode? Oh, the
yeah.
end of the episode is you find out a little more about the woodsman.
Yes. Yes.
And that was a big little reveal
Mhm.
because you find out the reason he is burning all this wood to make the oil to ever be burning the lantern is because the lantern holds the soul of his daughter.
Yes.
And that is some like poetically justice shit. That was like, I was like, oh fuck. When I found out that, I was like, oh shit. Now like he's interested. Like that's compelling. That's fucking compelling. Cause like
That's
fucking
compelling,
like
yeah.
holy shit. Like
Yeah, the
whoa.
beast.
Like
Ugh.
fucking like holy shit. This
Yeah.
guy's like his
Mhm.
whole life. Just could you imagine Marcus?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then
And Marcus, aren't we all a little bit like the woodsman, ever cutting down trees to just burn our own lantern to keep
think-
our souls burning?
yeah. I think that's I think that's the point.
Deep shit. Exactly.
It's
Fear
deep
God of Death.
shit.
Deep shit.
It's deep shit.
Exactly.
Everyone's carrying their own torch is the line that he says. And he says it, I think, in this
Whoa,
episode,
I missed
which
that.
is the
That's good.
point of the
good line.
episode. And
Say the
why
line
we're
again?
meeting all these main characters in the tavern.
Say that line again.
We all, I don't know what the fuck. We all have our own torch to bear, some shit, something like that.
That's good. That's good.
Oh my God.
And then immediately we go from this awesome, like this
You said
fucking
awesome, you
button
said
where
it
I'm
was
like,
terrible.
finally. Well, the episode was awesome, but this great button of getting more, and immediately we leave all that behind to follow Wirt and Greg and Beatrice. Wirt and Greg fucking walking around a mansion with some old guy.
Is this Mad Love?
And
oh yeah, Quincy
And
Ellicott.
a
Endicott.
horse and a bird trying to steal shit.
It was funny. This was a funny episode. I think that this was I think the last episode is probably one of my favorites, Song of the Dark Lantern. Other than like the last episode, because I feel like the last episode has the most like story and is the most compelling and all that stuff. But I liked Songs of the Dark Lantern a lot. It's one that I have rewatched on its own. Mad Love, it was a little bit of a weaker episode, but on rewatches I've appreciated it more because it is kind of
Basically
fun.
just the eccentric rich guy. You find out that he's been walking around this mansion and there's a ghost there, and then they find the ghost, and you realize the mansion was just so big that they each thought each other was a ghost, and then they give him 2 pennies, and that's the whole episode.
But there's hijinks in the episode. Hijinks ensue. And are you not
What's
here
the
for the
hijinks?
hijinks? Are you not here for the fun, the comedy, the talking horse, them running around, Scooby-Doo-esque shit happening? No? You're just like, man, they were looking around in the house and it was boring. I didn't like the house. I don't get it. I
did appreciate that you did find out about Wirt's crush, Sarah. You found out about Beatrice, who used to be human.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But, I know, but there's just so much time spent on the Quincy Endicott and like what he was doing that I was like, okay, show.
Side note,
it's only 11 minutes. Is this what we're gonna do with this time? Okay. Great.
Later in a scene during the graveyard scene, you see Quincy Endicott's name on a tombstone.
Spoilers, we're not even there yet.
Well, I'm just saying.
We can't talk about it while we're here now, because at this point now I know after watching the whole show that it is kind of alluded that maybe Quincy is dead all along.
Mm-hmm.
And I did watch a video where someone's like, he doesn't eat any of the food, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, and I'm like, oh shit,
Interesting.
So
interesting.
then we got Lullaby in Frogland, where
in Frogland.
we join a ferry, or we join a ferry.
What is with the deep sighs? What is happening? I feel like I'm in Bizarro World.
Let me try again.
Oh my god!
And then we join a ferry that's like full of frogs. Whoa!
I gave you gold, Nick. I gave you gold this week, and you are not appreciating it. You spit on it, and you're just like, pooey, patooey. I don't want this fabulous gift you given me. Let's go watch Bratz again. What the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, let's look at this. Remember this? The Bratz. Fucking, who's this one? What's the fuck's her name? Yasmin?
Yasmin.
Is this what you want, Nick? Merchandising? Yeah. There wasn't enough ads.
Wait, give me a pose.
Give me a pose
placement
again. There wasn't enough ads or product placement in the fucking movie for you. You want Bratz? No. God damn it.
Listen, I want you to give me a fucking little fucking montage of you playing with that goddamn doll. Dress her up, have her serving tea to one of your Berserk figures. I'm just saying. They both have equal placement in this show. They both had their own episode. Equal weight.
Berserk and Bratz?
They each got one full episode.
That's true. Fair enough.
So we got all the frogs, and this is a very classic hijinky episode where they don't have any money. They're not supposed to be there. So half the episode they're like running around. And then most of the important thing I think of this episode is they end pretending to be in the band and joining the band with the frog. And you find out the frog that they had could sing. Mm-hmm. And then something happened.
Okay. I feel like, there are a lot of hijinks. It is a fun thing. They realize the frog that they've had along with them is naked, and all these other frogs are clothed, and so they have to try to find him clothes. It's funny.
But then something happens.
Mm-hmm.
As they are starting to sing in the band, and Wirt is playing the bassoon. And there's this beautiful song sung by this frog that makes all the other frogs stop. I can't believe I'm fucking saying this. Because all the other fucking frogs start to sing and stop and listen. And then they're revealed. And then the frog's like, no. Let them keep going. I almost fucking cried. Because of
what?
Because of the sincerity of Greg and Wirt and the stupid frog singing this beautiful song. And I was like, wait a second. Am I watching this show wrong? It was at this moment, and I'm not joking. It was at this moment when I said, hold on a second. I don't think I'm watching the show right. Okay, I'm not enjoying the show because I'm not letting myself enjoy the show. I'm watching. You know what I realized? I was like, I have on reviewer, commentator. I got to do this for the podcast mode brain, and I'm not watching this show. I need to stop. I need to calm down. And then at that point in the night, I put the show to bed. I turned it off, and I said, I need to finish this tomorrow. I got to sleep on what the show just did to me in this moment. And I went to bed. And then everything from that moment, that song, I specifically know it's that stupid song the frog sings, where the whole show takes a turn for me. And everything starts falling into place.
Oh my God. Okay, well, you know what? Let's see what else falls into place during our game. Out of the Unknown.
Now try this trivia. Now try this trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia this.
We're back. Yeah. Okay, Nick. This game's called Out of the Unknown. It's essentially 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to Kevin Bacon. but with Over the Garden Wall.
Okay.
So
Now, Marcus, tell me what the game is again, but sound excited about your awesome game because that's a great idea.
wow. So this game is probably the greatest game we've ever had on the podcast.
Bar none.
Bar none. You have to connect. I'm going to give you a movie and you have to get there from Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, shit.
I was going to.
You've been told by our producer to read the description she wrote.
Okay, there's a description. These celebrated voice actors have been lost in the woods of a Cartoon Network miniseries. Get them home from unknown to Hollywood using 6 degrees of separation from Over the Garden Wall. Wow, I should have just read that.
Yeah, you should. You should have just not. When the music came back, you should have done nothing except read the description.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That was a great description. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first actor is Elijah Wood.
Okay.
And you have to get to Enchanted, the 2007 movie.
With Amy Adams?
Yes.
Okay.
See if you can get there. Talk it out.
Okay. Well, there's Over the Garden Wall with Elijah Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Wood was in the movie Sin City.
Okay. Yes, he was.
Now where you thought I was going. Now where you thought I was going.
No.
Now where you thought I was going. Remind me of where I'm going to.
Enchanted.
Enchanted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Sin City. So we're in Sin City.
We're in Sin City.
Sin City.
Wonderful world.
There
black
is
and white.
a lot of actors.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people
So
in
many
that
to choose
film.
from.
There's so many to choose. There's too many to choose from.
Amy Adams is not
let's
one
do
of them.
our man. Let's do our man. Bruce Willis.
Okay, Bruce Willis,
Fucking
hair,
Bruce
no hair.
Willis.
Uh-huh.
Hair, no hair. Bruce Willis. He
Which
had no
one?
hair in that film.
There you go.
He had no hair in that film. Sin City, he had no hair. So we got Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was in the movie. So
You're killing
stupid.
it.
Bruce
You're
Willis was
killing
in the movie Die Hard 4. Had Justin Long in it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, Justin Long. Justin Long was in the movie He's Not That Into You,
Okay. Who else?
which
is in
had hold on. Which had
that? This is great.
which
This
had
is great content. I love it.
which had oh shit, what's her name? What's her name? She was in Grey's Anatomy and 27 Dresses.
While Nick's thinking, if you're listening to this, you can let us know how you got there by reaching us out to us on social media at nowtrythiscast.com on all the platforms.
I don't know why I wasn't writing this down. It's gonna help me so much. So Justin Long.
Okay, Justin
He's
Long.
Not That Into You.
Not that into you.
Which had Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Man, this is such a long way of getting to that.
Scarlett Johansson.
Someone said
was
Katherine
in-
Heigl.
Katherine Heigl. That's who I was looking for. Katherine Heigl. I don't think she's in. She's Not That Into You. So Scarlett Johansson, who was in. Okay, who is in?
He's Just
in
Not That
Ella
Into You, that
Enchanted?
movie?
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
Johansson was in. Who's in Enchanted? Amy
Oh
Adams.
my God.
James Marsden.
Uh-huh.
Fucking Idina Menzel. That's all I remember. Which one of these people?
Idina Menzel was in it?
James-
Nice. Not Ella Enchanted. Enchanted. Did you say
Yeah,
Ella
Idina
Enchanted?
Menzel was in
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, I did. Fuck, I'm failing this one. I'm failing this one hard.
You're
I feel
doing
like
a
I don't even
bad
know how many
job.
degrees I'm already at.
This
Scarlett
was a
Johansson.
test one for me that she gave me to make sure it was easy, and I did get this one.
I
in
just went the
6.
wrong way.
In
I
5.
clearly
I got
just
it in
went the
5.
wrong way.
Just saying.
I just didn't do this correctly.
You went the wrong way. 100%.
Scarlett Johansson was in Don John. What's that movie?
What are you? Why are you naming
Justin
these
Gordon-Levitt?
movies? Why don't you just fucking go to Avengers or some shit and then go to someone else?
Because I don't know how Avengers connects to Amy Adams or James Marsden. That's the wrong universe. Amy Adams James Marsden is in pre-MCU Marvel, and Amy Adams is in Superman.
I'm
like,
let me know when you give up.
I
'cause
went the
could-
wrong
I
way.
Could do it. I could do it again. I remember.
I fucked this one up. I'll get it in the next one.
Okay. Here's what I said. I said Elijah Wood, Lord of the Rings, Ian
Too easy.
McKellen to X-Men, James Marsden to Enchanted.
yeah, but you went the easy way.
Oh yeah.
Fine. I fucked that
Also,
one
you
up.
could
I
have
fucked that one
gone.
up.
You could have gone Elijah Wood, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Jim Carrey, Sonic the Hedgehog, James Marsden.
I don't like Jim Carrey. One of the Avengers has a lead role with Amy Adams. Oh, am I close? Avengers. Okay, hold on. Amy Adams. I don't know what fucking movies Amy Adams fucking been in. She's been in so many shits. Fucking. Oh, God damn it. I hate you, Dash 942. Avengers into fucking Hawkeye. What the fuck's his name?
Oh,
What the fuck's Hawkeye's name?
Arrival. Jeremy
Yeah,
Renner.
into Arrival, into Jeremy Renner, into Arrival,
you
and Tammy
go.
Adams. That's it. God
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
it.
Wow.
Okay, well, that was a test one. That one didn't count, so I'll get all the rest of them.
You
What's
can
the
use
next one?
IMDb for the next one if you want.
I don't need to. I got this.
Okay. Next one is
Now that my brain's warmed up.
Christopher Lloyd to Star Trek. Oh wait, yeah, no, that's the next one.
Are you giving me a certain Star Trek or any Star Trek?
Any Star Trek. It could be movie, TV show, any Star Trek. Just get to a Star Trek.
Let's see.
I mean, I'd be impressed if you could get to the
gosh.
old TV show, which I think you can.
Oh gosh, oh man, I don't know. I know so few things that Christopher Lloyd has actually like been in. Oh
Okay.
no, this is. I think you thought this was easy. I don't know anything about Christopher Lloyd.
It's a hard
besides
one,
Back to the Future.
but it starts with Christopher Lloyd and then goes to Back to the Future.
Well, the only other person in that is Michael J. Fox.
That is the third step in the 5-step
Well, it's only
thing.
two. It's
to
only
Star
one.
Trek.
It's only one step. This is only one degree.
Yeah, so it's something else Michael
Movie
J.
doesn't
Fox
count,
is in.
Just Michael J. Fox. Let's see. He's been in Teen Wolf, which I don't know anybody in. He's been in. He had a sitcom. I
Mm.
don't know who anyone is in that. He was in. No
Voice
I-
acting?
Fucking
Do you remember anything he voice acted?
Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox voice acted. He totally voice acted.
Mm-hmm.
What did he voice act? I have no idea. The Goofy movie?
No, not the Goofy movie.
I don't know.
Underrated Disney movie.
Oliver and Company?
No, humans.
Bon Jovi? Are we going
No,
to Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi. It has humans in it. Underrated. Underwater.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Into Atlantis. Like I can fucking get anybody in the fucking Atlantis movie. Is Danny DeVito in that fucking movie? I don't fucking know.
No.
Jesus
I mean,
fucking
maybe.
Christ.
Who's in there?
Fucking, I know that everyone wants Terry Crews to play that one doctor guy in the live
Mhm.
action movie. That's all I know. I don't fucking know who's in it. Wow. Wow.
what?
Nope.
No, you got nothing?
I don't know. No.
Leonard Nimoy is in the movie.
Leonard. I don't know what fucking movie Leonard
Do you
Nimoy was
know who
in
Leonard
besides
Nimoy
fucking.
is in?
I know who he is. He's in Star Trek.
Hey,
In Star
you got
Trek
Star
2.
Trek.
No, is Leonard Nimoy in Atlantis?
Yeah, he's in Atlantis.
Who is he?
He's the king. King Kashiki, whatever.
In what world, Marcus? In
King-
what
in this
world?
In America.
Whatever.
Okay, next
That was
one.
also a warm-up round.
There's only 5. Okay. Melanie Linsky to Devil Wears Prada.
Okay. Melanie Linsky.
I
was
don't know
in
who
Two and a
she
Half
is.
Men. I do. She was in 2.5 Men.
This
in
one
Two
was
and a Half
impossible
Men
for me.
is gosh, I only know her in 2.5 Men. No. She was in. I think it was it Drink Buddies?
Drinking
Is that
Buddies?
the name of it that she was in?
Let me see.
She's in Drink Buddies? Drinking Buddies? No.
Oh, I know who
No,
she
she's
is.
in that- She's not in Drinking Buddies. She's in that other one that Anna Kendrick did.
Togetherness?
No, it was oh gosh. It was
Wet Hot American Summer.
No, it was
Our Ex-Wife. Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh my god, you're not helping. She played Anna Kendrick's sister in a movie
Drive.
called
I don't know what you're talking about.
oh god. No, it was
She's in a lot of stuff. Jesus Christ.
who, Anna Kendrick?
No, Melanie Linsky.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Okay.
Okay.
She was in Happy Christmas
Everything I named, she was in.
with Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick was in who's in Devil Wears Prada? Meryl Streep. Oh, Anna Kendrick was in Into the Woods.
Uh-huh.
And Into the Woods was Meryl Streep, who was in Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you need to hear that again?
You
I'll
got
hear that
it.
again. What's the name of the actress?
Melanie Linsky.
Melanie Linsky was in Happy Christmas with Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick was in Into the Woods with Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep was in Devil Wears Prada. Boom.
Watching you do that was like
Yeah, Dash Steinfeld to the other Joe Swan's.
amazing. It was like the Olympics.
Exactly.
Okay, Tim Curry to A League of Their Own.
The fucking women's baseball movie?
Mm-hmm. I think you mean
Oh.
baseball movie, Nick.
What did I say?
You said women's baseball movie. Just baseball.
You're an asshole. Okay. Oh god. Tim Curry is so iconic, but like in
yeah.
movies that I don't know
You got this.
anyone else that is in the movie. Tim Curry.
I mean,
I mean, he was in Rocky Horror.
Who
he
else was in Rocky
It,
Horror?
He was in Clue. Rocky Horror? I have no fucking idea.
Who's the?
Oh, wait. So he was in Rocky Horror
Okay.
with Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. Nice.
Susan Sarandon. Oh god, what the fuck is Susan Sarandon in? Oh, she was in Stepmom with Julia Roberts.
What?
I know I'm going out, but I'm going out to give me someone I know a lot of things about. I know a lot of Julia Roberts,
Okay,
right?
okay, yep.
Julia Roberts was in. She was in a movie with Tom Hanks.
She was in A League of Her Own.
She was in a movie with Tom Hanks, and it was called.
She was in a movie with Tom Hanks. Who? Julia Roberts?
Yeah, they play like a Southern gentleman. It's like.
Oh yeah! Wow, they were in 2 movies together.
It's like
3 movies together. You have 3 options.
Tom Hanks. What's Tom Hanks in? What's Tom?
Oh my God!
who
I've
else?
never
What
watched
is Tom
any of
Hanks-
these movies that they are in together.
Tom Hanks. What has Tom Hanks been in?
Oh my God! This movie has such a banger of a cast.
Tom Hanks was
Nicolas
in Big.
Cage.
Tom Hanks was in. Oh my God, Tom Hanks
Tom
was
Hanks?
in fucking
Regina
Saving Private
King. Bruce
Ryan.
Campbell.
Saving
What?
Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan had. Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Julia Roberts
Yep.
is in Ocean's 11.
Wow. Yep.
Matt Damon is in Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon was also in Saving Private Ryan.
Uh-huh.
And so is Tom Hanks, who is in A League of Their Own.
Nice. Good job.
I go through it again. So Tim Curry
Oh my God.
was in
you're so
Rocky
proud of
Horror with
yourself.
Susan Sarandon. Susan Sarandon was in Stepmom with Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts was in Ocean's 11 with Matt Damon. Matt Damon was in Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks.
Uh-huh.
Tom Hanks was in A League of Their Own.
Nice.
Boom, nailed it.
Good job.
did
Last
you do
one.
it?
Tim Curry, Rocky Horror, Susan Sarandon, Thelma and Louise, Gina Davis.
That would have been way easier, huh? Thelma and Louise. They are
Okay.
the titular Thelma and
And
Louise.
Louise, yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Okay.
Go
Inception
on.
from
Inception.
John Cleese.
John Cleese.
Oh, by the way, the movie I was thinking of was Ant Bully. Ant Bully has Bruce Campbell, Regina King, Julia Roberts, Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, Paul Giamatti, Allison Mack, Tom Hanks,
What's the name of this movie?
Tom Kenny, Ant Bully.
Nothing.
It has
Do
a
I know any movies
stacked
John
cast.
Cleese has been in?
John Cleese. Yeah, you know John Cleese. Do you know John Cleese?
In name, that he's one of those actors that have just been around and
He's
been
like
in everything.
Monty Python guy.
I don't watch Monty Python.
Oh man, Nick, come on. Jeez. I don't know, he's the main Monty Python guy. I feel like if you think Monty Python, you've seen his face.
I don't think anything when I think Monty Python because I don't know anything.
I've never watched a
John
Monty
Cleese,
Python
John Cleese.
movie, and I know him.
Well, do I know anyone else in Monty Python?
No, I don't know. I don't know anybody else in Monty Python. Okay. He was in a animated movie with a lot of singing.
Really? That's the clue.
Let's see. That is based on a toy brand, an obsolete toy brand from the 80s.
Bratz?
No, from the 80s.
G.I. Joe?
No, and they had little hair, and it was like for girls.
Trolls?
Yeah, he was in Trolls.
Okay, fine. Trolls. In Trolls is Anna Kendrick.
God damn it! Not everything's about Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick is in Into the Woods with
Oh,
Meryl
God.
Streep.
Jesus Christ.
Meryl Streep
Is The Devil Wears Prada.
is
Actually, yeah.
Is in
You could do it that way.
let's see, Inception. Who's in Inception? Tom Hardy, Jessica Levitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, Meryl Streep is in Beach.
What the fuck is
Beaches?
Beach, dude?
Beach?
Why don't you just go to Devil Wears Prada?
Meryl?
Save you like 5 steps.
Well, because in that movie is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
I think it's named Beach. I'm gonna check.
Oh my God.
Rare photo of Mom Meryl on the beach. No, it's not named Beach.
Yep. I want to see, when I type Meryl Streep Beach, I want to see her in a bikini is what I'm trying to do.
No, it's oh God, what's the name of it? It's
Beach movie.
it's not
August
Beach.
Osage
It's
County?
Marvin's Room. I'm sorry,
Marvin's
Marvin's
Room.
Room. Okay, well I won't use that one because I cheated. Let's see. Okay, so who else is in Inception? Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Both
Tom Hardy.
in the same movie with this other person who's in
that
Devil
was
Wears
so helpful.
Prada.
Emily Blunt.
No, Jesus Christ. What's her name?
This
name?
is- oh,
the one we talked about, Catwoman.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
So is into with Meryl Streep with Devil Wears Prada with Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is in Batman 3, The Dark Knight Returns.
With Tom Hardy
And inside of that movie
and
is
Joseph
Tom Hardy,
Gordon-Levitt.
who was in Inception.
and Joseph
Got it.
Gordon-Levitt.
No, just Tom Hardy.
I forgot Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in that movie until right now. He was Robin.
He was. Wow, that was an awful movie.
That was a
Come
bad
fight me.
movie.
That was an awful movie. Is that the last one?
Christopher Nolan made the perfect trilogy. That
No,
two
he
of
made
two
one really good
suck
film.
ass. Yeah,
We made one really good film,
movie.
and there's revisionist history about the other two. Batman Begins was not good until Dark Knight came out. And then we were like, oh, I see what he was doing. I guess the movie was pretty good.
I hated Batman Begins. When I watched it, I've never liked it. I liked The Dark Knight. That's a great movie. Batman and Christian Bale still sucks ass in that entire movie, so he kind of ruins it. But I think Heath Ledger saved it. And then part 3 got rid of the one good thing that was in part 2. So it was also a bad movie.
Well, I mean, it wasn't his fault.
That's fair. That's fair.
Honestly, no, Marcus. Hot take. You should blame Heath Ledger for the third
I blame
Batman
him.
movie.
Oh, no. That's not. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying that he,
No, Marcus, I think
even if he was alive, he would not have been in the third movie. So
he would have been in the third movie.
You think so?
They would have rewrote it.
They never do that for superhero stuff.
But he was the best. He would have been in it somehow.
Fair, maybe.
All right, Marcus.
Okay, back to this. When we last left off talking about the podcast topic, you hit a turning point.
From a fucking frog song.
It's a good song.
From a frog song. And then from there, you found out this person they were tracing, Adelaide, the lady of the forest or whatever. They were trying to fucking...
To Adelaide.
Yeah. I really like how that song came back later.
Mm-hmm.
Beatrice went there by herself, but Wirt followed. And you found out Beatrice was going to betray them so she can bring her family back to life.
Classic.
But then Beatrice had a change of heart.
Classic.
Classic.
Turning the tail of the animal guide on its head.
Yeah, I really like that. I like that turn. I was like, oh shit. And then Wirt and Greg came in. Somehow they fucking defeated Adelaide. But Wirt and Greg were not having it. So they left Beatrice behind.
Yeah. I do like that in small but important ways the characters are growing each episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
It's kind of nice.
This is the one where you can start to see it.
It's hard to do. Each episode's like 10 minutes long. It's like to get character development over the course of that time, a little bit every episode, it's difficult, but you do see it happening. And by the end, I feel like everything feels earned.
I 100% agree. And then after that, you get the ringing of the bell where you get Auntie Whispers.
That was
who's
wild.
Voiced by Tim Curry.
This episode is
good.
terrifying. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying.
It was really good.
You could tell that it was kind of inspired by like Spirited Away and like Miyazaki, like kind of style and that kind of style of storytelling and animation.
Yeah, and the classic turn of Lorna, the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we get our boys, they meet Lady, and they're like, oh no, we have to save you from your mean old Auntie Whispers. And when they try to, they realize that fucking she was the demon all along.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. And it was smart how they took care of her.
Yeah.
You know? It was Greg helped to take care of her, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help to like win the day. You know, it was been useful. But also Wirt's starting to step up.
That's true. I mean, yeah, in this episode, you definitely see both. You see a Greg stepping up a little bit and actually being useful and being a bit more cautious and realizing that his like actions kind of like have consequences. And then you also have Wirt not being a coward, which was kind of like the whole issue.
Yeah. And then the next episode, honestly, even though I'm at a turning point in the show, was really weird. Basically, they go to sleep in the woods and Greg has a dream that lets him go home, but instead he stays behind to go with the beast to save his brother.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. The whole dream thing and like the old north wind starts to howl. It turns it.
That felt like a Cuphead.
Yeah, 100%. It did feel like Cuphead. It was that old school like animation, kind of creepy vaudevillian stuff. And it was like, yeah, I didn't like the dream sequence also, but I get it. I get why it was there. It just kind of was like they were succumbing to the elements and the nature and things like that. And like this makes sense once you find out like what's happening and what caused them to get to this point in the outside world.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. Super agreed.
But in the time you're like, what the fuck's happening? This feels
I was
chaotic.
super confused. But at the end, when Greg like whispered that he wanted something else instead and he went with the beast, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, Greg deciding to go with the
Fear
beast.
God of Death. I don't know. We were on the same page, but you're saying this is a great episode. I don't know, buddy. You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
It was a great episode around the dream sequence. I feel like the dream sequence was a little weird.
I don't know.
I enjoyed
That's what
it.
they said. This is a great episode.
Oh my god.
But then the place it ended up, and then episode 9 happened,
mm-hmm.
and then I was like, oh shit. Episode 9 is a flashback going back before they enter the unknown, and you find out that I like this one too. I never considered it a dream sequence. They never considered a dream sequence. They were asleep. They were asleep, and he's dreaming about clouds and angels. What do you mean it's not a dream sequence?
Maybe it's a dream within a dream.
I'm gonna kick you both out of this podcast right now. Not a dream sequence. So, but this next episode, wow. I was already like changing my mind about the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then this episode happened, Into the Unknown, where you go all the way back before they got lost. You find out you're in modern day, that the reason they're dressed up like that is because it's Halloween. When you start the show, you think they're like gnomes or something. You think they're
Yeah.
like weird, like
They're dressed weird, and
But
you're like,
it's not.
It fits with the aesthetic of the show. It's like they don't look out of place.
Yeah.
They look like old-timey pilgrims.
totally, but they're not. It's modern day, and they like the whole episode is how they got lost. The whole episode is Wirt makes a tape for a girl, and Greg messes it up and gets her to see it, and they have to go to the party, and then they have to go to the
Mhm.
graveyard, and it's almost like an episode of fucking Degrassi in
Yeah,
like the best
100%.
way. Because
Yeah.
Wirt and Greg are still 100% authentically themselves that
Uh-huh.
we've known them as to be. And then they get ran off of some train tracks and into a pond or a river or something. And then that's how they end up like into the unknown.
Into the unknown. Yes.
And at this moment, everything just makes so much more sense.
Mhm.
Like, I think nobody likes the beginning of a Narnia movie where it's
Yeah.
just the kids in the house before they walk through the wardrobe. But before you understand that they're the kids that had walked through the wardrobe, for me, I don't know what's happening. I don't get
Yeah.
it. I
Okay.
need to know the back matter. I need to know our present situation, our stakes, to know
Yeah.
why I'm compelled to care. And this show brought me in with pure sincerity and whimsy to get me invested into this point. Even though
Yeah.
I was at the beginning and then now I am.
Yeah.
But when this happened and this episode happened, everything changed. Every
Mhm.
little moment of the fact that Greg had even candy in his pocket in the first place, the way that Wirt is treating Greg, the
Yeah.
way that Greg is treating Wirt, the reason they are walking the way they do, the reason the dynamic is the way they are, the reason they are saying the things they're saying, the reason they're hesitant to sing or they want to sing, or the whole thing of everything moment before this all makes sense now after watching that episode.
100%. Patrick McHale talked in an interview, and he said that he originally had this episode in the beginning, and then he said it made the whole show boring. It was like it just didn't work as well. So by placing this episode at the end, you end up like with it recontextualizes things and it makes you think about things more, and it adds by not having that in the beginning, it adds to the creepiness factor of like, why is everything so like metaphorical? Why are people saying all these like weirdly deep cryptic things, you know?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think it
totally.
works better this way.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think if this isn't your speed, like I totally, and it's not mine. So at the
Sure.
beginning, I'm just like, I don't get it. This is lost on me.
Mhm.
I'm there by episode 5. Like, oh my God, I'm going to hate the thing that Marcus last episode said he's going to get a tattoo of. I'm like, why the fuck would you get a tattoo of these stupid kids? Like, sure, it's like fun and cute, and Greg says a couple
Yeah.
funny things, but why is this any better than like fucking being Puppy Cat or
Yeah.
Adventure Time or like anything else?
Sure.
I'm just like, what? And then this happens, and just like you said, it recontextualizes everything up until this
Mhm.
moment, and you're like, holy fuck, everything means so much more.
Yeah.
And like the metaphor, and like what you were saying earlier of like, is it Wizard of Oz? Are they in purgatory?
Mhm.
Did they really just get teleported to another world?
Yeah.
When those questions are starting to be asked, everything is more important. The way the woodsman is talking, the lantern he is holding,
Yeah.
the beast in and of itself, Beatrice as a bird, Beatrice as a person, the fish fishing in the fucking pond. Everything is so much more important with this moment.
Yeah. I totally see that, and I totally like it. And this is definitely like a much needed moment in the series. I think that if it was just goofy, silly, fun times the whole time, I honestly don't think I would have liked the show as much. I would have enjoyed it
Yeah.
for sure, but it would
That's
have
how I was
like
feeling.
not had the weight that it does have, and it wouldn't have warranted a rewatch.
1,000,000%.
Mhm.
That's exactly where I was.
Yeah.
And then the end of this episode, he's in a tree, meets Beatrice's family, so it just gives even more stakes to Beatrice's
Yep.
story. And then he goes off now as a changed person
Mhm.
to go find his brother.
His brother,
Not a
yeah, who's
stepbrother, his brother.
Yeah, exactly. Who's in danger and needs
Yeah.
him. And who also like
Yeah.
sacrificed himself to help his brother. So they've both like changed so much and have grown.
Yeah.
And a few things about this episode that you can buy the mixtape, because he's like, oh, it's like me playing bassoon and poetry.
Oh,
Because
shit, really?
he's boring. But you can buy the mixtape from Mondo. Shout out to Mondo if you want to send us a couple of copies. I think they're all sold out though, so you could probably find
They're
it
out
on
of
eBay.
stock.
But it actually has
Oh,
Elijah Wood reading poetry and playing the bassoon on it, which
I
is
love
pretty
that.
funny. Well, I
Oh
guess
my
I don't
God,
know
a
if he's playing the
Coursera
bassoon,
mixtape.
but there's bassoon being played on it.
That's awesome. Actually,
And
it looks like there's a lot out there.
Also, I like that. One more thing about the episode is that I like that you have this mindset of like Wirt being worried about this girl that he's really into and Jason Funderburger. And like, you're like, okay, obviously that must be like the jock and the cheerleader kind of thing. He's just
Oh,
like this
yeah.
loser. And it's like, no, he goes to the game and he wants to date the mascot. And you meet Jason Funderburger and he's like this fucking loser.
Even more of a loser than Wirt is.
Yeah. And you can tell
And
that
Sarah's
like,
clearly into Wirt.
exactly, yeah, and like it's so
Clearly.
interesting because that's so much more relatable, right? Like
Yeah.
so much of the world that we live in is happening in our own minds, and it's not what's happening in other people's minds or what's even happening in out there, really. You
Yeah.
know?
And they could have easily had it be the jock and be all these tropes, and we wouldn't have batted an eyelash. But the
Yeah.
fact that it subverted it, even now, even while they're subverting so many other things, it's just like shows that they told the story they wanted to tell. you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's a more relatable one.
Yeah, agreed. So then is the last episode, which is called The Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the final gambits. It ties up all the loose ends. It's
Yeah.
you know, I don't even know how else to say it really, besides just it ties up all the loose ends. They fight the beast, and you get this amazing standoff, because now that you find out the elder woods that the woodsman is cutting down used to be people. They're lost
Yeah,
travelers.
lost souls. Yep.
And Greg is turning into one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the woodsman sees that he has to chop down Greg, he's like, no. And then it's like, fine, your daughter will die. And then he offers, and then Wirt comes and offers Wirt. This is probably one of the best moments of the show. I love this moment.
Yeah.
Where they offer Wirt the same deal that he offered the woodsman so long ago. And he says,
Yeah.
I can save your brother and put him inside the lantern, but you need to keep filling the lantern to keep your brother alive. And he's about to say yes.
Mhm.
And then he said, wait, no.
I love it.
no. And he's like, what? He's like, why would I do that? Why would I
That's
waste my
stupid.
life away shutting
Yeah.
down? That's stupid. Why would I keep shutting down trees? No. And then he's like, wait a second. Is it even does this lantern have to do with you being alive? And he pretends to dote on
Yeah.
the beast, like, no. And it's like, and he gives it to the woodsman. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, 100%. He's like, okay, this is bullshit. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to see for like a quick flash. I think you see the beast.
The beast.
It's
Yeah.
creepy. He's like he has
It's
a
like
bunch of like screaming faces on his body.
Oh, I didn't like stop it. The beast.
I think you can look up an image
Reveal.
of it.
It looked like a flesh color to me.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Look up the beast from over the
Oh,
garden
wow.
wall.
It is terrifying. It's got a whole bunch
Yeah.
of faces all over
He's
it.
got a bunch of faces on him
Wow.
that are screaming, and it's like it could be the Endlewood tree or whatever that's become a part of him, or lost souls that he needs to consume. Who
Very scary.
knows?
And
It's
that in and
terrifying.
of itself, though, the beast and the imagery of the beast with the gnarled branch horns that have been in the backdrop of all these episodes is creepy as fuck, and a really great like foreboding the way he talks, and he's like, oh, you gotta keep lancing the lantern. Da-da. It's very eerie. It's very scary. It's very good.
Yeah, no, it's creepy and it's good, and I like it. And it was just like you can see the character moments, like I said earlier, all justified. The ending, it worked really well. It was cohesive. They tied all the loose pieces together. Even the dumb little vignettes, souls over his body. Even the dumb little vignettes in the beginning make sense again.
I love the moment when everything's over and this is like an epilogue, and it
Mhm.
literally shows all those vignettes now with context. And
Yeah.
you remember how upset I was at the beginning of this episode about these stupid vignettes setting this
Yeah.
mood of like, this show sucks. Like, what is this for? And then at the end, I started to cry. I was like, oh, fuck. It was just so like fucking cathartic.
Yeah, 100%.
The way it all like wraps up, and it's just so pretty and beautiful, and it's like in the way he meets Sarah at the end, and the way he's talking about his brother and how he cares about his brother, and it's
Mhm.
like, you know, the whole thing is like, were they dead, were they not dead, did they go to this world? I don't know, but they're changed, but they're not dead because they both remember it, you know. And
Yeah.
like he still has a glowy orange gold thing in his
glowy
frog,
bell.
so
Yeah, and his frog.
yeah, so clearly it was real, but like, I don't know, it was wild.
It was a lot of fun, and it's such a deep show, and I feel like it's so good to rewatch too. Like every time I've rewatched it, I'm not someone who rewatches stuff a lot, but there's just more things you pick up on, more jokes that you like understand better or like can relate to more as your life changes. And
Yeah.
it's just a show for like all ages. You know, it's really, really
Yeah.
deep. And it's also silly. So like kids can watch it because it's silly and fun. It might be a little too scary for some, but like adults
Sure.
definitely would appreciate it.
I was sitting there. I was there with Lexi the night before,
Mhm.
saying like, "What the fuck is this show?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hate this show. This show's so stupid." And then we went to sleep, and then I finished the show today, and I texted her. I was like, "God damn it, I fucking love this show. I fucking understand why people will watch this." Hold on, let me read the text verbatim, because it was just like, what a fucking turn. I was like,
what a 180.
I said, "God damn it, the show ended really strong. It was pretty great when it all came together." And I said, "I feel like I need to rewatch it now with context. I get why people watch it every fall now."
Yeah, it's a great show. It's just so fun.
Mhm.
So what do you think happened? Do you think that they were in purgatory on the verge of death because they were drowning and then they made it out?
No, I don't think.
I mean, in
I don't-
the grand scheme of things, it
I-
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still get an
I
enjoyable
have such
show.
a tough time with these questions, and I know you do too. I know you
Yeah.
have to ask, but I know you also have the same problem as me. Is like, no, fucking Christopher Nolan wants us to think that the top is still spinning. That's like the point. He wants us to sit here and talk about it. We
Yeah.
know there's no answer. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Like we know that. But I think I don't know. I think there are some. It's so hard because the world is literally a metaphor for everything.
Mhm.
The woodsman, the rich guy in the mansion, Beatrice as
the
the
beast.
fucking harbinger of fucking shit and this and that, the beast. It's like, so obviously it's like a fucking parable, but just because I think this is the magic of it all, right? Like this is where magic lives. Like just because it's like the Oz, right?
Mhm.
Oz for Dorothy is her coming to grips and grappling with like death and those things that are happening around her. There's like essays and essays written about it, right?
Yeah.
All that can be true, but because all that is true, that's what creates the magic of Oz, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, did they die and they were working through something? Yes. But because that happened, that's the magic that made the unknown, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and also like the magic of everybody having to deal with something with close near death experiences into this other world is why they are where they're at. And I think there's also maybe even an argument to be had where all these people are people that got lost into the unknown because of near death experiences, because there's
so too.
what's the word where it's a synchronistic what's the word where it's like out of time, like this everybody's out of time, like there's so many different time periods. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Mhm.
Like because in the show Into the Unknown, everybody's not from the same time period, right?
Yeah.
Like Beatrice is dressed different than Lorna is. Anachronistic. Thank you so much, Dash 952. Lorna is dressed different than Beatrice, who's dressed different than the people in the tavern, who's dressed different than the rich guy. They're all different time periods. So it's all different times that people had near-death experiences and went into the unknown. And most of them didn't go. They didn't leave.
Or, I mean, yeah, it could also be like the unknown is purgatory, and these are all people who are waiting to go up or down.
Oh, yeah,
heaven or hell.
exactly.
You know, like
It's a clearer, better way of saying what I
who
just
knows?
said.
Yeah. So like there's a lot of interpretation, and I feel like that's fun too, right? Like now
Yeah.
you go and rewatch it with that mindset of knowing that this is kind of like a purgatory place. And see like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying about like we all end up here at some point, or like whatever creepy cryptic lines that they have throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
They all make sense now.
Yeah, totally. 100% agreed. And also they named the frog Jason Funderburker at the end, and that was very funny.
I love it.
It is the
good.
perfect name for a frog.
It is a good name for a frog.
Yeah.
I
And
love-
also I love how Sarah he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about the tape." And Sarah's like, "I don't have a cassette player." Because it's modern day. And then he's like, "Oh, you," and then he's confident now. He's like, "You'll come to my place to listen to it."
Yeah. But
And then he's like, but we'll listen to other tapes first.
I like this show so much because it's just
Yeah.
like there's so many fun things about it. There's so much to enjoy about it. There's so much to dissect about it. The art is beautiful. The music's beautiful. It's a cohesive world that's being created here. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so fun to dive into. And it's not something that's been ruined too, right? It's something that's been came out in 2014, and it's been for 7 years. We haven't gotten sequels. We haven't gotten like a live action adaptation. We haven't gotten Chris Hemsworth playing Wirt. We haven't like, it hasn't been ruined in any way. It's like this little pocket
now that
dimension.
you say that,
Oh no, did you hear something?
I wouldn't mind. I feel like a live action of this would be cool.
It would be cool, but I think that like it's
Though
nice.
you know why it wouldn't be cool? They would make it like they made that movie. What's that Beasts movie that's made off of that children's book?
What?
It's like an Island of Beasts. The kid wears like a little
Oh.
crown and he's like king of the beasts.
Yeah.
It's a
Where the
chil-
wild things are.
Where the wild things are. They could make it like that movie and not like have good whimsy. You know?
100%. Yeah,
It'd be like fake whimsy.
fake whimsy. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's
You know?
it's been nice to revisit because you get to revisit this very unique world that hasn't been tainted, and that's also kind of part of the plot of the thing. So you feel like you're getting to revisit this world that's been created here, and it's fun. It's nice.
Honestly, I'm kind of curious why there hasn't been a live action thing yet, because I mean, I wonder if it's the owner just being like, I don't know, like just trying to keep it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I have
Hold
no
on.
idea.
Hold on. Is there an Over the Garden Wall movie?
Oh my God. Speaking of, this is for Daron. I was on a plane with Daron and her mom, and she
Oh.
was watching a very creepy Pinocchio movie that was very disturbing. And maybe I think this is the same one. Maybe it's not. But there's a Pinocchio, and Patrick McHale's working on it with Guillermo del Toro,
Ooh,
which
fun.
is weird. Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Something would be lost. I feel like it would look a little like Labyrinth or something, right?
Mhm.
If they made a live action. Have you seen Labyrinth?
I have not seen Labyrinth.
You still haven't seen it. I guess I gotta give that to you someday.
Well, I
So-
agree. I think it should stay. A comic book was made, so you
Agreed.
can read some comic books if you want of it. Speaking of that, I tried really hard to get one of the artists who worked on it on this episode, but today's his last day of his job, and I think he was he was too busy, so he couldn't. But he drew this, and he worked on the Over the Garden Wall comic book.
Shout out,
Shout out, John P. Golden.
Marcus.
Free shout out, even though he wasn't on.
Marcus. I think that's the show. Any closing thoughts about Over the Garden Wall, sir?
I fucking love it. Go watch Over the Garden Wall if you haven't.
Oh, question. You said you would get a tattoo. Does that mean like you would get like a little red hat on like the inside of your elbow, and like Daron would get like a little upside down teapot? on
Teapot.
hers?
That's cute. I didn't think about that. I was thinking
A
of
little
like
matching little duo.
I was trying to I like combining things like this with has Lilo and or Stitch and Guts. I almost said Lilo and Berserk. Neither of their names. Stitch and Guts. I
Dash
like that.
9442 said she said no because she's not your little brother.
I was thinking about getting like Full Metal Alchemist Ed and Al, but dressed as these characters.
Ooh.
Or something like that. Something that would combine these things, or these two characters, being trapped by Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, or something like that combines two things is what I want to get.
I totally see that.
Nick, okay, got a couple questions for you.
Yep.
Did you like the show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
did.
go.
It was really fucking good.
Nice.
I was really surprised. I was really upset at the beginning. It did not have me. It did not get me. I was like,
Mhm.
I do not understand what this is. And then by the end, I was like, wow. That really fucking came together. That was a really good fucking miniseries. That was really cool. I need to watch it again now. God damn it.
Nice,
Wow.
nice. Hell
Because I was just sitting there like, I already know how this podcast can go. Marcus is like, but you love Steven Universe. And I'm going to be like, yeah, but I hated this shit. But that's not what happened because it was fucking amazing.
Good. There just needs to be some kind of depth. That's what we love about Steven Universe. That's what we
Yep.
love about these cartoons. I think Adventure Time did it too. Just it took too long for me. I stopped watching by the time it got really deep.
Same.
But yeah, like that's what we need. We just need that. Like it's fine to have wacky, zany fun, but like give me some depth. And I think the show has it.
Very much agreed.
Nick, would you
What I recommend.
recommend it?
Yeah. And I would definitely anybody that loves cartoons or loves whimsy or loves creepy, anybody that like grew up on Nightmare Before Christmas or Labyrinth or any of these things that are like just a little like off in a little bit of
Mhm.
way. Like I think people like that would love it, but I think normal people would love it too if they watch all of it together. They think about it like a movie and say
Yeah.
you're going to sit down and you're going to watch all of it. You're going to think nothing's happening. Or maybe it's like a small segmented thing where you watch it every couple days. But like I would tell somebody who doesn't like this thing that they would
Mhm.
enjoy it, but they need to commit to watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which I hate
wish-
saying because I feel like a lot of nerds say that. I was like, you get really good by the 5th episode. Like that's like really.
That's what happened with
like the
ReZero.
4th That's fair.
You have to watch the whole first season
yeah,
to like it.
those Wheel of Time books are really awful, but by the time you get to the 5th one, like it really comes together. I was like, bitch, those are like 1,000 pages each.
I don't want to read 5 books to get good. Yeah, I get that. 100%. Okay.
Harry Potter was good right away.
I wish it would. It should start good and get better. Is kind of how most things should be. Is the problem? But
1,000%.
oh fuck! I wish there was like a movie version of it, like an edited together kind of like 1.5 hour long version that didn't change much, but added scenes to kind of connect things a little bit more, and then was just one sit down experience.
It really could be.
Yeah,
it really, really could be. There's no reason it can't be. I agree with that sentiment a lot.
Okay, Nick, would you recommend it?
That's what you just asked me, buddy.
Would you watch more of Patrick McHale's work from New Jersey? Let's go.
Now I'm not going to.
Let's go.
I definitely would. But as I already said, I plan on rewatching the show. Honestly, if I didn't have so much stuff to watch in the waning time of right now, I feel like I would want to rewatch this in like a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Like now. Like I want to rewatch it now. Not like a year from now. I want to rewatch it now. Which is just, I don't know how else to really glowingly say about it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I just watched it. I'm like, I don't want to wait till fall to watch this again. I'll probably watch it this weekend again. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, Marcus, that was Over the Garden Wall. Great challenge. Guys, we do not have another challenge coming your way because you guys have another challenge coming our way from the Patreon, patreon.com/nowtrythis cast. Feel very confident in saying Malignant will be our challenge. You guys do have 2 hours to change it. It's probably not going to, though. So Malignant,
2 hours.
It is in theaters now. You can check it out on HBO Max. We are watching that. I have no idea what this movie is about, Marcus. Do you?
No. All I know is a horror movie by James Wan, and I want to watch it.
You didn't watch the trailer?
No. I
me
heard.
either. Hell yeah.
I watched part of a review for it, and they were saying that the trailer does the movie an injustice, and that they just didn't know how to market it. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna stop right here and not watch the rest of this review because I'm like, I want to see what's unexpected about it.
Perfect. Yeah. So we're doing that next week, guys. Don't worry. Next month you can get another challenge into the Patreon. We're going to be doing fucking horrifying hijinks all month this month because it's the month of horrifying hijinks. That's Spooky Boys horrifying hijinks month.
Let's go. Okay. Also, if you can't give to the Patreon, we know times are hard for a lot of people still. Just subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch.
Write us a message. Say hello.
Write us a message on social media. It's so nice to hear from you guys.
Yeah, it really is. And with that, guys, you can follow us everywhere at Now Try This Cast. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/Now Try This Cast. Every Monday, the episode comes out. Download that everywhere you download podcasts, and you can check us out live Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/Now Try This Cast.
Woo! Let's go. Okay, guys. With that final beautiful message, let's go out into the unknown and try some new things.
Sorry, guys. Good night.
Friends get together so they can try things. Yell about it, it's podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
So Over the Garden Wall, you got Wirt and you got Patrick McHale.
Yeah, nice.
I don't understand how MCH makes a sound.
McHale?
Like that, I kind of McHale. Yeah,
McHale.
No, that's not McHale. That's McHale.
McHale.
Why is the H silent?
McHale.
Why can't the C
You
be
can say it like that.
silent?
McHale.
McHale.
You're saying it right.
McHale.
It's just fast. McHale.
Oh wow, it is McHale. McHale.
I love it.